doing a little exploring today, and I'm in an area that I've been before, and there's some really cool ruins here that I wanted to show you guys that I just find fascinating, and hopefully you will too. This big structure right here is a lime kiln. This is where they would take limestone, like these chunks of rock right here, and they would burn it in these big kilns, and I'll show you in a minute what it looks like on the inside. And they would burn it with charcoal or coal. These probably use charcoal because there's not a lot of coal in this area. What would happen is they would burn it in this big chimney that I'm going to show you in a little bit. So what they would do is they'd build a big fire in that chimney with charcoal and layers of rock. And when the stone got heated up to a certain temperature, I think it's like around 1500, you know, give or take 1,000 degrees, I don't really remember, the limestone would change and it would turn into either lime or cement, depending on how much clay was in it. Like if it was pure limestone, it would just make lime, and lime they would put out in the fields. They could make like a weak mortar for houses, insides of houses, like on lath work and stuff. But if it was a limestone that had some clay in it in certain proportions, when they would burn it and then recrush it, it would make cement, which is how they make concrete. The type of cement that would make is called hydraulic cement, and it would harden underwater. Now I'm talking like 1820s to, you know, maybe 1900, and it was very valuable back then because you could use it in canal work or on bridges or anything like that. And they had these giant kilns in certain areas where that special type of limestone was found. Again, limestone that had very precise proportions of clay inside the stone. But we're going to go ahead and look at the other side here, and these are some more of the kilns. So there was at least 4 kilns here. You can see again, that's where they'd have the fires up in there, and that was for a vent. And they would put the lime, the rocks, and the charcoal up on top, and it would burn in this big stack. And so there's 1, 2, 3 here, and the one that we just saw. I think he's operated it in the mid 1800s. And across the river there's some more of these, and they were actually, I think, built in started to be built in like 1820. So it's a really neat history of this area, and I thought you might like to see it. We're going to go up here and look at how they took the rocks out of the hillside, how they quarried it out. It's kind of interesting, I think, anyway. Want to go? Yeah, let's go. This is one of the quarries that fed that kiln. There's a couple of them here. I'm going to show you another one in a minute. But you can see how they have cut like right through the hill. And the reason they had to do it like this instead of just taking it all is that the limestone had to have certain proportions of chemicals to make good hydraulic cement. It had to have some clay in it, certain amounts of this type of clay. And if they get over too far to the right or left, the clay was gone. You can see where they kind of stopped there, but look at this wall over here. It's slightly sloped this way, so I guess it gets some moisture, and it's just loaded with really cool moss, that green moss. I love that stuff. And the wall we're standing against here, of course, probably doesn't get any moisture, or not much sticks, you know, not much of the rain hits it, so there's no moss on this side. I guess that's why. I don't know. That's beautiful, isn't it? This is the bigger of the 2 quarries here. Of course, you can see it's full of water, so we're not really going to be able to get up close and personal with this one. We come back when it's frozen and we can look at it up close. I've never really been up in there. I don't know if there's any caves or anything in there. Probably not. You can probably see them from here, I would think. Alright, so that's where they cut another trench back in there. There's actually quite a few more in these woods, but those are only 2 we're going to look at today. Let's look at this spring house right here. Oh, look, there's the bones hanging in the tree. Hope that's not human. Yeah, it's got to be deer, I'm sure. Oh yeah, look, there's a bunch more on the ground here. Yeah, that's deer. Anyway, let's look at the spring. Isn't it beautiful? Look, you can see the greeneries are already coming up, some of those green plants. Wow, look at that. I love that kind of stuff. That sounds pretty neat, doesn't it? I think we'll probably get a little sound clip of that. I might use it in the end of my videos. Sounds pretty cool. There's more bones down there. You're human? Hard to say how old this one could be. There's actually a big Civil War battle here too, so could be human. All kinds of feathers. Those are from the buzzards. Saw a lot of buzzards when I came up here. Look at this. Look at the moss on there. Isn't that cool? Love it. Let's go inside. Oh, wow, look. This has the same type of trough that you'd see in the farms where they'd put the milk cans to keep them cool. I guess this is probably the same type of thing, I would imagine. That's probably a dead buzzard right there, what's left of him. Yeah, there he is, old buzzard. Poor dude. Or dudette, I guess. We'll have to follow the water up here and see where it goes. I love exploring old spring houses like this. Well, any old structures. Just really good history. I'm not sure when these were built, but probably in the early 1800s, I would think. Just want to take a quick look at the back of the spring house here. You can see this is concrete. These little round rocks are river rocks from the river, which isn't too far away. This is probably the hydraulic cement that they made right here at these kilns. That's kind of neat. There's a spring right there where it comes out of the hill. Want to walk over there? Yeah, let's walk over there and look. Well, I don't know. It's kind of like a bunch of stuff there. Yeah, we'll pass on that, I guess. Well, let's go look at it. This is not easy getting through. These are the multi-floor, be careful here. Multi-floor rows that I'm always telling you about with the big thorns. You gotta be really careful with those things. I wonder what that is. Well, that must be where that must have held bullets or cartridges, I guess. Alright, let's go up here. Well, that's kind of neat looking. Imagine this round thing is probably concrete that they made to catch the water. Yeah, that's what it is. You can see that's where the pipe comes out, goes down into the spring house. So this would be like a little catch basin for that to help feed it. See, there was a bigger pipe at one time. And it just oozes out of the hillside right there. So this is the top of the kiln here. You can see it's like, ooh, that's dangerous. Really dangerous. Wow. I didn't know this was going to be open like this. Usually they're filled in. Oh, that's cool though. I don't see any human bones in there. You can see how the edges that comes down like this and slopes to the middle. That's where those little kilns were down on the bottom that I showed you earlier. And they would feed the stone in here and the charcoal, and it would just burn, burn, burn. And the stuff would come out the bottom. And then take the clinkers out and grind it up and make cement. That's really dangerous. This one over here has been filled in, I guess. Looked like it had a roof on it at one time that collapsed. Hopefully that's full, although it doesn't make any sense that that would be full. I wonder if that's a burn. Oh, it's almost, that's probably the limestone that they were burning. I thought they were quarrying out of those quarries behind us that they would burn. Wow, that's dangerous. Wow, that's scary, man. You would never get out of there. If you fell in there, you'd be, I guess maybe you could dig out the bottom, I don't know, but whew, I don't like it. That kind of stuff always scares me when I see it in the woods, because you know, if you were out here just not paying attention, you could fall in, especially if you're out here at night, saying, you know, going to a tree stand or something. Ah, man, that's horrible. A lot of times you guys will ask me, you know, how do you find old places? And, you know, this is pretty obvious here because, of course, there's a lot of stonework. Those are the kilns we just looked at, and I think it was probably some more right here, too, that collapsed, because you can see that wall. But I wanted to show you this real quick. Here's some daffodils coming up here. Look at that. So when you see daffodils like this in the woods, or on a rock break somewhere in the field, you can pretty well figure that there was a house nearby, or at least a dump from a house, but normally it was a house. Those daffodils can live for a long time in the woods, as can like irises. Irises are really, really hardy. So when you see flowers in the woods, that's usually a good indication that you're near some houses or, you know, something like that. You guys know what this is? And no, it's not a giant cage for the canaries that they would take into the coal mines. I'll let you guess. Here's another little cluster of daffodils. Kind of more proof that something probably was going on in here, if you didn't see the stonework down the hill. Oh, I think this is probably a chimney pile. This is probably where one of the houses stood. Shell of bricks? I think this is a chimney pile. So those daffodils were probably planted along the edge of that little hill right there, just to, you know, beautify the area a little bit. By the wife, I'm sure. Oh, here's another thing. Stepped on this, but here's ivy. When you see ivy like this, that's an indication that you're by a home site as well. I mean, it could be a dump, but it's usually a home site. Kind of stumbling around in here. Just want to get up here and look at this, I think it's a chimney pile. Anytime you see bunches of bricks like that, yeah, see all these bricks? This would have probably had a brick chimney. Of course, we have to look at the groundhog dirt. You know I like groundhog dirt. See what we can see. That's his hole right there. So he was digging and dragging stuff out. See lots of little pieces of brick. Here's a piece of ceramics of some kind. No, that's probably a rock. There's a little piece of iron. I don't know what that's from. That's clinker. That's the clinker from the furnace over there, the lime kiln anyway. That's where they, I don't know if that's the actual cement clinker that they would grind down to make cement, or if that's a waste clinker. I'm not really sure. Not a lot of information on these types of things, and no one's really taught me. I don't know anybody to teach me. That's definitely mortar right there from the inside of the house. That's probably plaster from the wall. That's what that, yeah, see it? That's plaster from the wall. So, yeah, here's a nail. You can see the nail, did you? Take a look at it, see what we got. Alright. Nail got a round head, so we know that is definitely post-Civil War. They didn't really start making round nails until about 1880 or so. So that could be from the house. We want to go ahead and leave that here. Kind of infernal creature is that? Listen. Screaming! It's a turkey feather. I'll put it in my cap and we'll call it macaroni. Well, it's gone. It just bellowed. Do you know what it is now?